I'm Becky, and in today's video I'm excited to share more from my personal yoga practice and walk you through a little practice that ends in a walking meditation. So a moving meditation is a super legit way to meditate, and for some folks it can feel more accessible, especially on days when your body is just not wanting to sit still, or if sitting and meditating is too activating for the nervous system. And what I mean by that is, for example, when I first started practicing yoga, it was a lot for me to sit still and just focus on my breath because I wasn't used to the feelings inside my body. I did not have that development of the interoception of knowing what was happening inside my body and knowing how to interpret it. So when I did my first guided meditation seated and I was asked to focus on my breath, I felt panic and anxiety rising, and I suddenly forgot how to breathe, and it was a really uncomfortable experience, which I did not want to do again, and I didn't for a long time. So I'm at a point now where I do seated meditation and I'm okay with it, but I didn't start out that way. So a moving meditation for some folks can feel safer and more accessible. So you're welcome to join me in today's practice. As I cue breath and movement together, you are always welcome to follow along or not. So these are just suggestions, just invitations, which you may ignore. Okay, so for today's practice, make sure you have a little space around you to move. If you have a yoga mat, great, you can use that for a walking meditation. Just need a little room to walk back and forth or in a circle. So once you're ready, find a comfortable seat to begin. You can sit cross-legged on the floor, or you can sit in a chair. If you're in a chair, bring your feet flat on the floor. We'll start with some warm-ups in the spine, doing some seated cat-cow. So if it's your first time doing seated cat-cow, I'm just going to turn on my chair so you can see me better. So start out, whether you're cross-legged on the floor, kneeling on the floor, or in a chair, by bringing your palms to your thighs or to the knees. And we'll start with cat. So with cat, we're just going to use the belly button and kind of pull it in towards the spine, start to round the spine, rounding the shoulders forward, looking down towards your belly button. So just enough until we feel some roundedness in the back. Just stretching the spine. And then we're going to move into the opposite movement with cow by softening the belly, looking up and rolling the shoulders back. So kind of pinching the shoulder blades behind you until your sternum lifts forward and you get a little bit of an arch now in the low back. This is cow. And you can roll through these two movements, tucking the navel in, tucking the chin down, looking down into cat, and rolling the shoulders back and up, lifting the chin, lifting the sternum into cow. And if you want to match breath with the movement, breathe out as you move into cat. So the out breath helps pull the belly button back. And breathe in to lift your chest and lift your chin into cow. And you can use your hands and kind of move your hands towards your knees into cat, and bring your hands back up onto your thighs into cow to help with give you a little leverage to lift. So it's a seated cat-cow. Do a few more rounds at your own pace, and again, if you want to exhale into cat, you can match breath with movement. Inhale into cow. Ooh, my back cracked. One more round. All right, so when you've finished, you can sit still. And since we're going to be doing some walking meditation, I figured we'd take some time to wake up and give some love to the feet. So our feet are going to be connecting us to the ground. We want to get to know how that sensation feels. So if and only if you're comfortable doing so, take off your shoes, maybe even your socks, and we'll start with a little foot massage. So if you're sitting cross-legged, and pick up the top foot. If you're kneeling, you might want to shift to a position where you can access your feet. If you're in a chair, you can just cross one ankle over the thigh. And then using the hands, start to massage the feet, pressing your fingers into different parts of your foot, the bottom of your foot, the toes, the top of your foot, maybe even your ankle and your shin. Just noticing what you feel as you start to get into the feet. So you may have calluses where there's not a lot of sensation. You may have tender spots where your body is telling you it wants you to be extra gentle. So just notice what signals you're getting from your body. Be gentle and give yourself some love through this little foot massage. So our feet actually have lots of nerve endings and pressure points on the bottom that correspond with different parts of the body, such as the lungs, the muscles that control our breathing, our kidneys, our brain, our glands that create all the chemicals that keep us alive. So as we give ourselves a massage through the feet, we're actually massaging the whole body. We're sending signals through our nervous system from the nerve endings in our feet all the way up towards the brain, traveling through different body parts on the way. It's kind of cool. And another thing I like to do when I give myself a foot massage is to interlace my fingers in between my toes to give my toes a little stretch. And this can be kind of hard, so no worries if you're like, not happening. I am just going to demonstrate. If you can get your fingers there, it can feel kind of good maybe to flex and point your toes to help stretch your toes. And if this does not feel good, you do not have to do it. Otherwise, you can just flex and point your toes without interlacing your fingers. All right, and when you're ready, if you're ready, sometimes I just want to stay here and massage my feet forever. We'll switch feet. So either switch across your legs or bring your other foot on top, and we'll start on the other side. Same thing, using the hands to kind of press and knead into all the different parts of our feet and notice what we find. You can massage the tips of your toes, and again, even the ankles and the shins. And remember again, we've got all these pressure points, these nerve endings in the bottom of the feet that are giving us love in all parts of our body. And even our hands, our palms have pressure points. So as we're using our hands to massage the feet, we're kind of giving ourselves a double massage, because our nerve endings in our hands are also sending signals to our brain that are traveling through different parts of our body as well. And if it felt good to do it on the other side, you want to try interlacing your fingers again between your toes and stretching the toes. Feel free to join me. Again, it's always hard. Otherwise, if you just want to flex and point your toes without interlacing your fingers, that works too. Okay, we're just waking up the feet, waking up to sensation in the feet, just noticing what you're finding. And when you're ready again, if you're ready to stop with the foot massage, let's bring ourselves to stand. So if you're on the floor, come up to stand however is comfortable for you. If you're in a chair, you may want to either move the chair out of the way or move off to the side so that you don't run into it as we do some movement together. So let's start by connecting the feet now that they've been woken up with a little massage. Let's connect the feet with gravity. So connecting with gravity through the floor, through the earth. Bring the toes kind of point forward as you stand. Your stance might be about as wide as your hips or even a little bit wider. So see what you can find that feels really stable and balanced in your feet. And then standing tall, looking down at the toes, lift your toes up off the ground and just watch them flex. So this is flexing the toes. And notice what happens with the feet. If you can bring the toes back down to the earth and then lift them back up again, you might notice that as you lift the toes, you can really feel the arches in the foot lift. You might feel sensation in the top of your foot. You might even feel sensation all the way up the legs. So just notice what happens in your own body. And you can bring your toes back down. With a nice firm connection to gravity, firm connection to the earth, start to shift your weight forward and back very gently. If you need help with balance, you can always stand alongside a wall and hold on to the wall as you do this. So we're just playing with the center of gravity here in our bodies. And you can look down at the floor if that helps with balance. You can look up. When we're doing anything with balance, it can help define what's called a drishti, or a focal point, that can help you to stay balanced and connected with your vestibular system, the system of your body that helps you with balance. If you move your eyes around too much, it can be destabilizing. So as you shift your weight back and forth, you might even start to feel like this is kind of fun, I like it. If so, if you want to come all the way up onto your toes and then shift your weight back down onto your heels, see how big or how small your body wants to rock. And keep paying attention as you do this to which parts of your feet you can feel connected to gravity the most. All right, and when you're ready, come to stand still again. You might want to widen your stance. We're gonna be doing a little movement. So bring your feet as wide as your hips, or even a little bit wider. Bend your toes, and let's start to swing the arms forward and back. And if your feet want to keep rocking as you do this, go for it. And as you swing your arms, you might notice that your arms want to swing a little wilder. That's cool. On your next swing up, go ahead and bring your arms all the way up, hands reaching towards the sky, fingers pointing towards the heavens, palms facing together, kind of like you're holding a giant beach ball or a giant globe over your head. And let's stretch the side of the body. So reaching the right hand over towards the left wrist, grab onto the left wrist and just slowly lean towards the right, reaching the left hand up and over to get a stretch on the left side of the body. And then come back up to center, let go of the wrists, reach the hands, fingertips up, holding on to your beach ball. And then take the left hand, grab onto the right wrist this time, and lean towards the left, reaching the right hand up and over to stretch the right side of the body. Bring your hands back up, palms together, palms facing each other. Maybe look up. And then bring your palms together now, drawing a line down the center of the body until you come to the center of your chest. And we'll take a few breaths together. Again, you're welcome to join me or not. Taking 3 breaths together, in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. And then come again to stand with your feet under your body, arms loose by your side now. And let's do some twists by letting the arms swing right to left or side to side. And as you do this, you'll start to turn kind of at your torso where your belly button is. And you can start to let your arms swing higher if you like. And notice as you do this, what's happening in the feet. Keep a little bend in your knees to keep your knees safe. Notice if your head wants to move with your body or stay still. And you may notice that as you swing from side to side, your hands might tap parts of your body, your thighs, your hips, or even your low back. And if you'd like to swing a little bit wilder, go for it. You can even match breath with movement by breathing in as you turn one way and breathing out as you turn the other. And as you continue to swing, again, bring your awareness back to the feet. Notice what the feet are doing as they keep your body balanced as you're moving. So right now, as I'm paying attention to my feet, I'm noticing that my heels want to lift up off the ground as I start to turn. I'm going to let them. So again, keeping my knees a little bit bent for safety. All right, and then as you're ready, you can let your arms stop swinging. Come back to standing still. Maybe you feel a little bit looser. Just notice what's happening in your body and how you feel in this moment. And then we'll do one more warm-up, getting ready to balance from one leg to the other. Start to rock side to side with your feet, again, in a nice balanced stance so you can step your feet as wide as you need to feel balanced. Hold on to a wall if that's what your body's asking for. And as you shift your weight from side to side again, just notice what parts of your feet you can feel most firmly connected to gravity, to the earth, to the floor, whatever is underneath your feet. All right. And then coming back to stand firm on both feet, maybe lift the toes like we did before, really connect your feet from the part under your big toe to the part under your little pinky toes, to the center point of your heel. Stand tall, and then drop the toes back down. Shift your weight over towards your right foot. Pick up the left foot and cross it in front of the right and bring it back down. So we're standing with our legs crossed, standing tall. And then open the arms up wide like you're going to give a big hug, palms facing forward. And then bring the left arm under the right and give yourself a hug. So wrapping your arms around your body, reaching your fingertips towards your shoulder blades. And then again, if you want to follow breath with movement and join me, breathe in through the nose to lift the elbows up and breathe out to drop them back down. All right, unwrap your arms, uncross the legs, bring your feet underneath your body again. And then same thing on the other side, shifting your weight towards the left foot. Pick up the right, cross it over, place it back down. Open the arms up wide like you're going to give a big hug. And this time, cross right arm under left. Give yourself a hug. Reach your fingertips towards your shoulders, shoulder blades, and the back of your body. Breathe in to lift the elbows. And breathe out to drop the elbows back down. Uncross your arms, uncross your legs, and come to stand firm. So before we begin our walking meditation, take a minute to get any last wiggles out. Maybe shake through the hands a few times. Whatever you feel like you need to do to kind of settle down and get ready to move to doing some slow and deliberate movements. So let's do, if you want to, 3 breaths together to get ready. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can bring your hands to your hips, or you can bring your hands to Anjali Mudra again if that feels comfortable. Palms together, elbows wide. Breathe in and sigh out through the mouth. Big breath in. Last one, in and out. All right. So if you are ready to try the walking meditation, plan your route. So again, we can walk back and forth if you have a yoga mat. That's plenty of length. Otherwise, if you have more space and you want to make a circle, go for it. So I'm just going to walk myself to the edge of my rug here and demonstrate. So with our walking meditation, we're just going to begin by paying attention to the sensations in the feet as we start to move. So for balance, again, you can hold onto a wall. And for that drishti we talked about, using your gaze to help with balance, it may help to look down at the floor just a few feet in front of you. See where your eyes want to rest. And if they want to look up, and look forward, let them. Your body is very intelligent, and if you try not to control it too much, it'll usually guide itself into the most comfortable position. So starting out with your feet again in a nice firm balanced stance underneath your body, we'll shift our weight to one foot and pick up the other and just very slowly lift the foot up off the ground and place it back down in front of you about 1 foot's distance. So your heel is going to land just right about where your toes were. So this is about the size of the steps we're going to be taking. So very small steps, very slow. And then shift your weight to your front foot, pick up your back foot, and then bring it forward, set it back down on the ground. So these are our steps for a walking meditation. And as you shift your weight forward and pick up the back foot and carry it forward and set it back down on the ground, just notice what's happening in the bottom of the feet. What parts of the foot are connecting to the ground? What does the ground feel like under your foot? If you're walking on grass or on a rug or on your yoga mat, just notice the texture of whatever you're walking on. It's a lot to pay attention to. If you get to the end of your yoga mat and you need to turn around, go for it. I'm going to turn around and go the other way. So again, pick up 1 foot, set it back down. Small, slow steps. And again, play around with what it feels like to set different parts of your foot down on the ground as you step back down. So maybe you start out and you notice that the ball of your foot touches the ground first and then settles down into the heel. Or maybe you notice your heel comes down first and then the ball of your foot. Just notice. Notice what feels right for your body. Maybe it's your whole foot together that comes down onto the ground. Slow steps forward, and I'm going to turn around again. So as you practice walking meditation, if you want to bring breath into the practice, I'll show you how I do it. So I breathe in as I lift the back foot and carry it forward, and breathe out as I set the foot back down, and really let the out breath set me back down firmly into gravity. So my inhale lifts me, carries my back foot forward, and my exhale settles me back down firm on the ground. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if you don't want to pay attention to the breath, that's fine. Just keep paying attention to what's happening in the feet. As you continue this walking meditation, you're going to get distracted, maybe by sounds. Maybe you have a pet in the room, a cute dog or a cute cat that's distracting you. Maybe you have thoughts running through your brain that are taking your attention away from the feet or away from the breath. If you notice that you get distracted, celebrate, because that's really exciting to notice. And then try to bring your attention back to the sensations in the feet, or to the movement of the body with the breath. Inhaling to lift yourself up and forward. Exhaling to really feel connected to gravity. Stepping forward and noticing what parts of the body, parts of the foot are connecting with the ground, and what the ground feels like on the sole of the foot. So let's do one more. I'm going to do one more pace with you silently this time. Follow your breath. Move at your own pace. Okay. Wherever you're at, let's pause. You can do this walking meditation for a long time if you want, but you probably don't want to watch me do it for an hour on this video. So we will pause there. Notice how you feel after that brief practice. Notice if you feel any more connected to the ground through your feet as you stand and contemplate. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Whatever you notice is good. Celebrate what you notice. So I enjoy taking elements of walking meditation with me into everyday life, and you're welcome to do the same. When I walk my dogs, if I go hiking, I like to kind of use that connection of the feet to help me connect with my breath. So every time I take a step, I remember how that breath feels to lift me up and carry me forward. And as I breathe out, I pay extra attention to the connection of my feet to the ground, to the gravity, to that grounding sensation. And it can help me when I do that to stay really in my body. A lot of times we're in our heads caught up in thoughts, which can be anxious and uncomfortable, worries, things about the future that we're worried about, dwelling on things that happened in the past that we wish we hadn't done. And those thoughts and feelings are always going to be there, even if we're meditating. But using that meditation can help us to keep ourselves from getting too caught up and give ourselves a little break. It's not going to cure anything. It's not going to stop it from happening, but it can be a nice break from the thinking brain. And the more you practice either moving meditation or even seated meditation, the more you're going to notice that it's easier to access that practice even when you're not intending to. So what I mean by that is when you notice yourself getting caught up in thoughts and you catch yourself, it's a good opportunity to take a moment and reconnect with gravity, whether you're sitting or standing, or reconnect with your breath if that feels okay. So that's walking meditation. And again, if you want to practice it the way we did it today, maybe set a timer for a few minutes and start there, or take it outside, maybe walk in the grass. If you have a safe place, you can do that outside where you're not going to be too distracted. That can feel really nice, especially in the spring and summer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, feel free to visit my website, yogaforneurodiversity.com. You can send me a message through my contact page. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Take care.